Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. It's a palooza.http ntvforex.com news ID 30C5FF. 7/23/2020 12:13:44 p.m. Things you need to know. Markets in overdrive. The Momo momentum guys can't get enough. Another slew of earnings reports so far, all beat hello. US-China tensions grow as US accuses China of stealing secrets. Go figure. S&P is filling the gap. Will we pierce 3,300 today? Try the linguini Michelangelo. It's like a broken record now and again. The market marches higher. Yesterday 23 companies announced earnings, 18 beat the expectations, 5 missed. 78% hit rate, in line with what we have been seeing so far, with now 150 companies reported and 80% have beaten the estimates. Along with that, the macro data continues to improve, and while the virus cases are now exploding higher and virus recoveries are surging higher, virus deaths are falling, and with better treatments and a list of possible vaccines not too far off, investors are betting that the sun will shine again and that the darkness that has washed over the world will soon be gone, taking many back to Genesis 1:3, when God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. By the end of the day, the Dow added 165 PTS or 0.62%, leaving that index still down 5.3% on the year. The S&P rose 18 PTS or 0.57%, bringing that index up 1.4% on the year. The Nasdaq added 25 PTS or 0.24%, marking a 19.32% gain on the year, while the Russell added a measly 2 PTS, leaving that index still down double digits at 10%. After the close, the two reports that kept everyone on the edge of their seats hit the tape. Microsoft MSFT $3 or 1.44% during the trading day reported $1.46 versus the expected $1.36, as sustained demand for cloud computing services drove the story. Quarterly sales rose 13% to $38 billion, net profit of $11.2 billion as more and more people shift from the office to working online from home. Cloud computing division Azure grew an astonishing 47%, which is down from last quarter's 59% and down from 64% growth rate 1 year ago. Accentuate the negative in the word down. Here go the naysayers. We want more. I mean, it's a bit ridiculous. So, in the after-hours session, trader types took the stock down 4 PTS. In what we discussed yesterday, MSFT is up 42%. Since April, 42%. So when they beat all of those, trader types ring the bell and take some off the table in a sell the news event. Larger asset managers will also most likely take some off the table today, as well as they peel a little bit back, maintain a core position, and redirect the newfound cash into underperforming sectors that are still playing catch up. I discussed this as well in yesterday's note, as the reaction to the tech earnings may very well be to sell them. Okay, hold on. MSFT isn't going anywhere. Capis. And then there was Tesla TSLA $22 or 1.4% during the day, as everyone had something to say. Expectations ran from to wow. Estimates called for 0.02 CTS share, but remember, it's Tesla, it's Elon Musk, it's the future, and they had all kinds of GovT credits for producing zero-emission electric cars to cash in, all legal, and they reaffirmed their 2020 guidance of delivering 500K cars, and there is talk of it being added into the S&P 500 index, which means that anyone who uses that index as a benchmark needs to own Tesla if it does in fact get added, which might explain away some of the chart action of late. Look, it's is up 280% for the year, and 230% of that has come since April, when those rumors started. In addition, he announced the beginning of a new major spending cycle. Growth stock, not surprising, with the construction of a new gigafactory plant on the outskirts of Austin. TX, soon to be renamed Giga. TX sure to have statues of Lonnie all over the place, and the streets to be laid out in a grid, with the Lonnie avenues going north to south and the Lonnie streets going east to west, very NYC-ish. And this morning the markets are up yet again, futures surging as the S&P continues to fill the gap created back in February. Recall we discussed this gap on Tuesday. Here is what I said. The SPX closed at 3,251 and is now positive on the year, 0.65% this morning. It appears that it wants to try and fill the gap it created back in February as well. That gap was the collapse from 3,337 to 3,257, and if this morning's action is any indication, we can expect the S&P to open at 3,275-ish, clearly beginning to fill that gap. The sense is it wants to challenge and test the February highs of 3,380. Last night the S&P closed at 3,276, and this morning S&P futures at 6:15 a.m. are surging by another 13 pts as it races towards the century mark 3,300, further filling that gap. Earnings today include WST, APD, AMP, Dow, all reported early, and albeit we await a long list of others: DHR, Love, BX, CLGX, CTXS, Pool, AAL, T, SHI, PHM, ADS, FCX, TWTR, TRV, KMB and UNP. Echo Data initial jobless claims EXP of 1.3 mil, and continuing claims of 17.1 million. Leading economic indicators of 2.1% and the Kansas City Fed survey EXP of 5. Now there is a resurgence in trade tensions between the US and China. New bullets being shot across the Pacific as China reacts to the U.S. closure of their consulate in Houston after we claimed that 2 Chinese hackers have been targeting American companies working on a vaccine. XIXI is not happy and is suggesting that this is a Trump election move, that China would never spy on the U.S. or steal intellectual property from a consulate located in Houston. China stocks just a bit lower as the chatter across that country is for Beijing to demand the U.S. close its consulate in Hong Kong in retaliation. South Korea reports a decline in second quarter GDP as exports fall precipitously, leaving that market down 0.56%, dragging Taiwan with it 0.48%. Australia bucked the trend, rising 0.32% as financials and energy rose. Japan closed for a holiday. European markets are all in the plus category. German forward-looking consumer confidence read is expected to rise to 0.3 versus the current level of 9.4. European earnings continued to suggest some difficulty, but all that is that we can expect continued support by the ECB, European Central Bank, and the IMF and L Monetary Fund. As of 6:50 MFTSE 0.53%, CAC 40 0.56%, DAX 0.66%, Eurostoxx 0.63%, Spain 0.40%, and Italy flat. Like I said, US futures are positive. Dow 102 PTS, S&P 12 PTS, Nasdaq 100 PTS, and the Russell 10 points. News that we will pay PFE German partner BioNTech $2 billion for 100 million vaccines if their version proves safe and effective. In addition, word is that Congress is getting close to extending a watered-down version of the fifth stimulus package concerning federal unemployment benefits through year-end. This morning, oil is trading up small as oil traders investor parse the latest data. A build in inventories and a build in production is not causing any real pullback at all, the usual back and forth, but nothing dramatic. You know how I feel. There is nothing wrong with demand and there is plenty of supply, which is why I think we will remain in the $35-$45 range, and I don't expect it to break out until there is more clarity on the election, the reopening, the virus, and the vaccine. The SPX closed at 3,276 and is now up 1.42% on the year. It took a bit of a breather yesterday, backing and filling its recent advance as it attempts to complete filling the gap. We did trade as high as 3,279 yesterday, and if futures hold we look to open at about 3,290-ish, very close to 3,300, which I think it pierces and then backs off. Sit tight, it's opening day for baseball. Yankees face the Nationals at 7 p.m. Estate and Louisiana Dodgers face the Giants at 10 p.m. Estate. Linguine Michelangelo. This is a simple dish to make. It is a favorite of Italian sculptor, painter, architect, and poet of the High Renaissance. A man of unparalleled influence over the world. Michelangelo, long considered one of the greatest living artists the world has known, was also a simple man enjoying simple dishes, so today you give this a try. For this you need linguine, fresh spinach, yellow raisins, pignaglini nuts, fresh ricotta, olive oil, and fresh grated Parmigiano. Begin by bringing a pot of salted water to a boil. Add the linguine. In a bowl add hot water and soak the raisins. Now in a deep frying pan add a bit of olive oil and toast the nuts. Stirring not to burn. Once toasted set aside. In the same pan add a bit more oil and the spinach. Season with samp and sauté. After about 3 minutes add in a small container of the fresh ricotta, stir to melt and blend. Now add in a ladle of the pasta water. Stir. Now add the raisins, stir when the pasta is almost done, remove directly from the pan and add to the frying pan with the spinach and ricotta mix. Toss nicely to coat. Add the pignagli nuts and a bit more pasta water. Once well mixed, add in a couple of hands of fresh cheese, toss and serve. Simple and very classic, just like Michelangelo. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors.